P&G and Secret proudly present the NWSL Challenge Cup today. Washington and Sky Blue face off in the quarterfinals presented by Budweiser. And yesterday was exciting. We're hoping that rolls over in today here in the second day of quarterfinals. Josh Toll and the keeper, Jen Cooper, with you. And looking at what Washington has done here in this tournament, they have shown glimpses of a team that can be dominant on the defensive side, and they're beginning to put things in offensively as well.
Along with North Carolina, the only team to finish the first round without a negative goal differential. They got off to a fiery start with a 2-1 win over Chicago. Had a great equalizer against Portland. One loss to North Carolina, but finished the first round with a 1-0 win over Houston to finish second in the standings.
And Sky Blue, few new pieces brought in the offseason. They're still trying to gel. They do have one win, though, here in this Challenge Cup.
Big 2-0 win for the New Jersey club over Houston to keep them in contention. They ended up 7th due to tiebreaker losses and having more yellows than the team above them. But they're feeling pretty good. They've been playing most of the same starting lineup, and we're starting to see the vision that Freya Coombe has for this team.
Definitely seeing that vision, the chemistry building for the Sky Blue squad. We'll see what they have today going up against the Washington Spirit. Another great day of quarterfinal action, and we started off with the Spirit and Sky Blue. We will have all the action for you right here. You're watching the NWSL on Twitch. Just moments away from Washington and Sky Blue. Both teams looking to move on to the semifinals as we take a look at the tournament bracket and what happened yesterday and what could happen today and leading forward to next Wednesday.
Portland, the number 8 seed, upsetting number 1. Very exciting game. And then a thriller, a scoreless thriller, we have to say, in the night game. Houston edging Utah on penalties to advance for the first time ever in a knockout game for that club. So Portland, Houston next Wednesday. Winners of today's match will also meet next Wednesday. Semifinal winners, of course, meeting the final on Sunday, July 26th.
And for both these two teams, now we'll take a look at the starting 11. We'll look at Richie Burke and what he will bring out here for his starting 11 for the Washington Spirit.
Just a couple of changes, really just one big change. Natalie Jacobs getting the start, her second start of the tournament. Of course, Washington Spirit missing Andy Sullivan after her meniscus injury. So Dorian Bailey's going to have to pop back and do what Sullivan was doing in the first round.
Big day for Dorian Bailey. He's sliding back into that 6th spot. And now we'll take a look at Freya Coombe and what she brings out for her starting 11. Familiar faces all around the board for Freya Coombe.
Exact same starting 11 that she played against North Carolina, except for Midge Purce back in the lineup. This is the first 11 for Sky Blue. A lot of veteran leadership there when we've got 3 Iron Women on the field. Naomi Kawasumi, Sarah Waldmo, Gina Lewandowski. A lot of experience there.
See what they get up top from Paige Monahan and Naho Kawasumi. Both those two players are the only players to score for Sky Blue so far in this Challenge Cup as we get set for another great day of quarterfinal play, kicking off with the Washington Spirit and Sky Blue FC. Winner moves on And they will play in the semifinals on Wednesday when that moves over to Rio Tinto Stadium.
Sheridan also really small number.
Zerboni will play this back as we are underway. Sky Blue in their dark blues. Washington in their white kits. Josh Toll and Jen Cooper with you once again right here on Twitch. Another beautiful day in Herriman, Utah, as both teams look to press on. As this is played to Ashley Sanchez. Sanchez, a good tournament so far. She does have an assist as this is played down the line, and Lewandowski will let this roll out of play. For Sky Blue FC, they're coming in off a loss to North Carolina. Meanwhile, Washington Spirit are coming off a 1-0 win against the Houston Dash.
And Josh, this is the first time Sky Blue has been in a knockout game since the inaugural season of NWSL. They finished 4th that season. Incredible season if you go back and look at the stats. You had 3 teams tied on 38 points for the lead. Sky Blue on 36 points to get 4th place, and they lost to Western New York Flash. That's their only postseason appearance, their only knockout game in NWSL. We're not talking their previous history in WPS, but in NWSL.
Dorsey cuts back. Monty Dorsey missed the first 2 games, but started the final 2 games in the preliminary round, so getting her 3rd straight go. Different back line with Mitch Purse playing the right back for Freya Coombe as she pushes forward. Purse.
Such a potent pair of outside backs with Purse on the right, Dorsey on the left, both who we know are capable goal scorers and get up and get into the action.
Purse, of course, last year 8 goals with the Portland Thorns, and then Mike Dorsey, Rookie of the Year in 2018 for Sky Blue, their 2nd in team history. This one slotted through, but no one at the top of the area. Stott plays it out. Hatch, she'll come near side. Huster.
Huster, the veteran on this Spirit squad, and really the only one who was around the last time Spirit was in a knockout round situation. They made the playoffs 3 straight years, 2014 through 2016 under coach Mark Parsons, who's now with the Thorns, reaching the final in 2016 but falling on penalties.
Washington 2nd in the standings, Sky Blue FC 7th. As Dorsey plays this to Sheridan. Sheridan, an excellent tournament. She's 2nd in saves, sitting right behind Jane Campbell of the Houston Dash.
And these standings were so close, Josh. You had 4 teams tied on 4 points. So you had North Carolina with 12, Washington with 7, so they grabbed 2nd place. The Reign with 5, and then 4 teams with 4 points. Sky Blue ending up at the bottom of those 4 teams because they were all tied on goal differential. They all had -1. Sky Blue and Chicago had the least amount of goals. Sky Blue had more yellows than Chicago, so they ended up with that number 7 seed in this matchup against the Spirit.
Sky Blue has 4 players with yellows. Washington, no players with a yellow card.
Only Washington and North Carolina coming out of the first round with no cards.
Walmo turns away. Slots through to Cujo. Cujo pauses, brings it towards the spot. Giving chases Purse. Cujo has been a difference maker in the midfield for Sky Blue.
I love that little back flick by Dorian Bailey to keep that ball out of the path of a offender.
We talked about it, the importance that Bailey is going to play, replacing Andy Sullivan. Richie Burke has high hopes for her, such that she fights for every ball as this comes into Kawasumi on the inline and finds its way out.
Huster says, sorry, nope, sending that out. Or rather, she watched it go out, so that it ended up being a goal kick. Of course, there's our head coach of the U.S. Women's National Team, Vlatko Nanoski. You can see the gold star above the 3 stars, so you've got the 4-star crest there. Speaking of the national team, we do have Rose Lavelle on the bench today. We do expect to see her today. Of course, her minutes are being closely managed, a minor ankle injury. Or not even injury, just something that they're watching.
Flacco, very familiar with some of these players. 3 players from Sky Blue he brought in for the December ID camp.
And now you can say 5, because 2 of the players he brought in are now with Sky Blue. They weren't at the time.
First free kick coming here for the Spirit. Great look there at Natalie Jacobs, getting a start today.
Second start of the tournament for the rookie out of USC.
Never missed a game in her Trojan career.
Part of that 2016 squad that won USC's second NCAA title.
Nielsen and Staub, the 2 center backs, have played every minute in this Challenge Cup as this is played to Houston.
And we've got 5 Iron Women in this match, Josh. And by Iron Women, I mean they've played every minute. Sky Blue has 3, more than any other team at this point.
Sanchez plays it out wide to Yokoyama. Yokoyama patiently loops it up to Sanchez, heads it back, and right there is Kaylin Sheridan.
We've seen such great play from Yokoyama all tournament. She's had a stellar NWSL debut. Creative, dangerous. We're seeing her connect better with her teammates each game. Wouldn't be surprised if we see her get a goal today.
She came close in that Portland game, just could not get anything by Bella Bixby. You want to talk about 2 keepers that have had fantastic Challenge Cups. Bella Bixby started things out.
Just 2?
Well, just for Portland alone. Bella Bixby started things out, and then Britt Eckerstrom yesterday just with 8 saves in the game against North Carolina.
And we did get an update on Bella Bixby. Unfortunately, she did announce on social media that she has torn her ACL. You hate to hear that, but you got to feel happy that she had the game she had to show the world, announce to the coaches of the world what she has to offer. Also got an update on Megan Oyster, the Houston center back, injured last night. It's a fractured rib.
Bledsoe plays this out. Bledsoe here in the Challenge Cup seems what it's been for a quiet year. Just 6 saves compared to what she's done the last 2 seasons. For the Spears, this is played in Onomonu. Onomonu trying to get around Nielsen, but falls to the turf.
Nielsen just gets a foot on it as she falls too.
Zerboni looking to reach that to Kawasumi, but that one played off Natalie Jacobs. Dorsey. Waldlow. Back posting, smothering that ball is Bledsoe. Paige Monahan was lurking on the far side. She has 1 goal in this Challenge Cup, but Bledsoe going down the turf to make sure no Sky Blue player could get to that ball.
You have to watch those runs from Paige Monahan. Her movement is really crafty. She can just suddenly appear out of nowhere. She had the game winner against Houston. Of course, that came more from goalkeeper coming way, way out.
McGrady charging forward. Monahan giving chase. Sheridan will roll this out, and Kawasumi will look to start the other direction.
I love the matchup between these keepers, Josh. These are the co-record holders for saves in a single season. They both had 108 saves in the 2018 season, and they both had the same amount. Was it 89 last year?
86, I think.
Yeah,
was
they
the
had the exact same last year, and I'm sure they were both happy that they had to make fewer.
Well, it's weird looking at the stats right now where you see Sheridan with 13 and Bledsoe just with 6 when they're so neck and neck the last 2 years.
Well, but that also shows you the changes in the defense in front of each team. You don't really want to be setting that saves record if you don't have to.
Hatch tripped up. And this will find its way to Sheridan. I think that's another year of growth, especially for the Washington Spirit and the young players that they had. You have third-year player in Paige Nielsen, then you have the 2 rookies in Tegan McGrady and Sam Staub. You also had a couple other players rotating in there with McGrady's injury last season. Of course, you have Tori Huster, who's played in 138 regular season games for the Spirit.
And it's that back line, Josh, that back four it's been the same four starting all but one game, the one game where they started Houston on a rest. But I think that's really the difference in those saves numbers. Stellar defense from this Spirit back line. Makes a little bit less work for Bledsoe.
Corner kick here for Sky Blue FC. And Walmo will head over to the far side. She's been in charge of the corners through the Challenge Cup. Drives it in. Lewandowski was going up to try to get that with a header, but just couldn't direct it.
Lewandowski with such an excellent career in the Frauen Bundesliga. She briefly came back home to play with WPS in 2011 to play with Western New York Flash, where she played alongside McCall Zerboni, who joined Sky Blue this year. Lewandowski, of course, yet to score in NWSL, but you usually don't expect your center backs to get many goals, if any. But I like seeing that pressure from the back. That's not what we've seen Sky Blue do in the past. And Coombe definitely has the expectation of her center backs that they're setting play higher and creating chances.
Yokoyama. Back post, and that one sails over. We saw her try that a couple different times versus Portland, and it's just only a matter of time before she gets that first NWSL goal.
And I like that we're seeing a second wave of Japanese internationals in NWSL bring such a different style of technicality. That doesn't sound right. Different technical ability. We've seen Sky Blue adapt more of a Japanese style of possession play, especially with Naho Kawasumi, veteran Naho Kawasumi, and of course Becca Morris, as assistant coach, having played in Japan. Kumi Yokoyama, the first ever Japanese international to play for the Spirit.
Nielsen comes to Huster. Bailey plays it back. Jacobs. She'll go outside. McGrady. You'll see her push forward throughout the game as she plays this in with her left foot. And misjudged by Sheridan. But right there was Dorsey.
Sheridan taking a moment on the ball. Hatch right there. Dangerous moment for Sky Blue. Tori Penso, the referee today, coming over to check on Kaylin Sheridan. Ball from the outside, floated in. Sheridan and Hatch both going up for it. Hatch getting there with her with one hand, doesn't quite catch it, but then flops on it, smothers that. Thankfully, no real collision there.
Dorsey in the perfect place for Sky Blue FC to prevent at least Yokoyama from giving you a chance on that back post.
But Hatch is so speedy, such a great poacher. Last time these teams played, she had the game winner, the only goal in a pretty tight match.
Hatch does have a goal here in this Challenge Cup. That one coming back in the first game against Chicago in a 2-1 victory.
And again, a poached goal off a keeper mistake. You cannot give her an inch.
Hatch touches the ball, but comes to Waldmo.
Ashley Hatch, of course, played collegiately at BYU here in Utah, or even earned her first U.S. national team cap in Utah. I wouldn't be surprised if we see her in a 4-star jersey again sometime.
Huster drops it off. Yokoyama down the line. Bailey. Sanchez calling for it, receives. Sanchez, she's another player that keeps improving here for Richie Burke as this Challenge Cup has progressed, as this is played to Yokoyama onside. And then Hatch knocked over, wants a call, not going to get it.
We have not had a single penalty kick call during regulation, Josh. The first time we had penalties was last night in the shootout. We've had nothing in regulation. We did set a new tournament record last night for 6 yellow cards in the match, though that's not a league record. I did look it up last night.
I remember you were talking about that, see if it was league record. You couldn't think of it, but 6 in one game.
Twice there's been 8 in one game, but but you have to go all the way back basically to 2015.
Sky Blue with 4, and then you have the well-disciplined team in Washington. Still yet to have a player with a yellow card. Zerboni curling, and that one just wide. Had a late bend to it. Gets around. McCall Zerboni, a solid pickup here in this off-season. Coming over for North Carolina, bringing a lot more leadership, a little bit more bite and grit to the Sky Blue squad.
And a great partner for longtime captain Sarah Waldmo. And then I love how she's been able to combine with Jennifer Cujo. McCall Zerboni can do the defensive work, kind of free up Cujo to just go wherever she needs to go with the ball, and her ball movement has been great.
We saw Cujo play in her first game at that defensive holding midfielder, but feels more comfortable going box to box. And when Zerboni's on the field, that is the roles that she's played.
This is the 5th club that McCall Zerboni has suited up for in NWSL, but that's not a record, Josh. You know who holds the record for most clubs represented?
Jess McDonald.
Jess McDonald.
Zerboni, though, just over 12,000 minutes in her career in the NWSL.
Just over 12,000. I think she's number 2, number 3 overall.
She's what, like 3rd in games played around there?
Yeah.
Is that going to bring Hatch down? And we will have our first yellow card, and this will go to Estelle Johnson. She was not one of those 4 players on a yellow card.
So now New Jersey has 5 players on a yellow. Of course, if Estelle gets another in this game, she has to leave the game immediately and sit out the semi if they advance.
There you see her get the leg in front of Hatch and just pour to the ground. Well, Hatch, she can be a nuisance up front for that back line.
Johnson throwing that leg out there, but not getting ball.
There was a tackle earlier in the box where Hatch thought she was fouled. And now we'll have a free kick just outside the area. McGrady lines up with the left, Yokoyama with the right. You can never get a free kick or a corner off without some fighting going on in the area.
We saw that last night for sure.
It's standard that you're going to get a lecture from the referee at some point. Left-footed ball.
A little too much lift on that. No one could get to it. Goal kick for Sky Blue.
That's one McGrady would like to have back.
We were talking about yellows, Josh. The 4 Sky Blue players sitting on a yellow before this game: Sarah Waldmo, McCall Zerboni, Jennifer Cujo, Midge Purse. So if any one of those get a yellow today, they don't leave the game, but they would miss the semifinal if Sky Blue advances.
Onomonu offside. Bledsoe was coming off her line. Onomonu last year played with both Portland and Reign FC. Freddie Coombe hoping that she'll bring a little bit more to the attack this year for Sky Blue FC.
We've seen some great footwork from Onomonu. She just needs a little more support to create, I guess, link up with the team. She's doing some great work in front of goal, great footwork, holding the ball, needs more support from the midfield.
Seen her at different times stretch the line like we just saw moments ago as Purse strides forward. Purse into the area. Falls down. Some backspin on that ball. McGrady had to keep it in, otherwise that would have been a corner. Good awareness there by McGrady. Cujo. Not on the same page as McCall Zerboni. Soccer fans, the official shop of the NWSL is now open. Visit NWSLshop.com now and sign up to be the first to receive special offers and promotions. NWSLshop.com, the official place to gear up and support your favorite team. Of course, you can get Challenge Cup items. You can get new Racing Louisville FC items, scarves, T-shirts.
There's a nice Pride tee. There's not jerseys yet, but that is something that will be added. They're also working on adding international shipping. Of course, all 10 clubs, we can say 9 plus the expansion club, do have their own online stores. So you can check out each club store. If you just, if you go to NWSLsoccer.com, you can get to any of the club's website. All the teams have jerseys for sale. Of course, Louisville does not yet have a jersey, but I'm sure that will be coming soon.
That beautiful lavender that they put out in their, you can go look at their Twitter, well, you can go to their website and take a look at it. It's just beautiful. The new 10th team coming next season to the NWSL.
No word yet on other expansion, but I like the idea of 10. I like the idea of slow expansion. The beautiful thing about 10 is, that would mean no bye weeks.
Kawasumi. She just gives this over to McGrady. Kawasumi, a goal in the game against Houston.
A carbon copy, basically, of her goal in the 2011 Women's World Cup. If you haven't seen it,
just Google it.
Just Google it. Kawasumi, goal, Sweden 2011. They beat Sweden in the semis to advance to play the U.S. in the final. And, well, we all remember what happened in the final, so we won't go over that.
What we need to see is that side-by-side. It was really, like you said, a carbon copy. The best was when she was asked after the game if they reminded her of that match. She's just, yes, just with a big smile.
Yes. I knew what I was doing.
Wasn't her first time that she was put in that position. Lewandowski.
And Kawasumi really known more for her assists. She's definitely in the top 10 for all-time assists in the league. Even set a league record playing for the Reign in 2017, playing against this Washington team, had 4 assists in one game.
This is the thing that Washington will do. They will build with patience. They've completed 80% of their passes here in this NWSL Challenge Cup. Richie Burke preaches on possession in the passing game, wants 500 passes each game. Monahan, she was trying to find Onumonu. Waldmo. Onumonu backing up is McGrady. Monahan. I think Onumonu would have been offside, but seeing that build-up for Sky Blue.
And Josh, I'd say this rivalry needs a name to go with it. Washington and Sky Blue, mostly because of their proximity to each other on the East Coast, they've played more games than any other rivalry in the NWSL except for the Cascadia rivalry, Seattle, Portland. Those pairings have played 22 times in the regular season, that is. I feel like there needs to be a name for it. I'm not sure what it should be. You were thinking maybe I-95, but of course I-95 runs the whole length of the East Coast. So if there's any Washington Spirit Sky Blue fans out there that have a really good idea for what this rivalry should be called, share it with us on Twitter or Twitch. It's got to have a name, right?
You could have like a train in there. It's just how easy it is to get off the East Coast.
Right, but so there's got to be something local, something specific that says, this is the Washington Spirit Sky Blue rivalry.
A great look at second-year coach Richie Burke. Bailey Feist, the game winner against Houston.
Feist out of Wake Forest. One of several draftees for the Spirit last year. I mean, we've said it before, this roster is so young, but they're playing so calmly, so experienced. You know, Richie Burke has talked about for them in this tournament, you know, playing with maturity. Don't be anxious. Don't chase the ball.
Sanchez with the left, and that one falls in the hands of Kaylin Sheridan as she falls to the ground. Looked like Sanchez was trying to find Ashley Hatch in the center of the box. Just couldn't get enough power behind this pass. Sanchez so good on the dribble. We've seen a few different times here in this Challenge Cup her ability just to create little space when there basically is none. She even showed it here earlier in this first half. She does have an assist. And that was in the tie against Portland, where she found Sam Staub somehow.
And she said afterwards, I don't know how I did that, but that's a great highlight reel to have. Sanchez, just the third player in league history to be drafted after leaving college early. We like to call that the Davidson rule, since Tiarna Davidson with Chicago was the first to leave college early and be drafted. They basically had just changed the rule for 2019. Before that, you had to exhaust your college eligibility before you could enter the draft. So now we've seen Tiarna Davidson last year, Sophia Smith and Ashley Sanchez this year.
Hard collision there between Jacobs and Zerboni. Dorsey with the throw. Dorsey, 2018 Rookie of the Year for Sky Blue, second in team history.
First one being Rocky Rodriguez, who played her first 4 seasons with Sky Blue, but this year is part of that trade with Portland that brought Midge Purse to the New Jersey club. Now, one of the awards we're going to have for this tournament, and we're still waiting on the details of who votes for what awards, but one of them is going to be future legend of the tournament, which I guess in a way that's almost like rookie of the tournament, but that's going to be a really tough one to pick. I don't know if we get to have a vote or not, but who would your pick be at this point, Josh?
I like what Sanchez has done. Cujo has been great. Bixby was awesome in her first 4 games. There's definitely a few players in there for sure, as this is played out wide.
That's going to be a tough one. We know some of the awards will be fan voted, and as soon as we have that info, of course, we will share that. Be sure you're following NWSL on Twitter, on Facebook,
Instagram,
on Twitch,
all the social media sites.
LinkedIn. What else can we throw out there? And there's even an NWSL app available for iOS and Android. It's got the rosters, the games, the stats. Not yet for this year, but all previous years, at least back to 2016, you can even access the video to any game that you click on. I would definitely download the app if you don't have it already. And I would like to assume, Josh, that soon the shop will be part of that app as well, or it'll have its own app. It's all about the merch, right? You've already bought something from the store, right? I have.
I'm getting all my teams lined up.
You're getting 1 jersey from each club?
1 jersey, 1 scarf. Hatch is ahead of Bailey, and that's who Bailey goes to, and sliding through is Lewandowski. This is played down the line. Lewandowski, another veteran that these young players for Sky Blue lean on.
And such a different story than, we usually have, at least in MLS, the older European players coming to MLS to finish their careers. I like here an American returning home to finish her career in NWSL after a stellar career playing in Germany. Lewandowski earning 1 cap for the U.S. national team back in 2015. At the time, she was the oldest player to earn her first cap. She's since been eclipsed by her current teammate, McCall Zerboni. When she got her first cap in 2017, she was almost 31.
Hatch, that one blocked away by Johnson. Cujo going up and over Yokoyama. And now we'll have the foul on Cujo. Coming into the game, Sky Blues 37 fouls. Only 2 teams ahead of them. Reign in Utah. Well, I feel after that game last night, Houston could probably be right up there.
That was a crazy match. And of course, penalty kicks always a difficult way for players, you know, from their perspective to decide a match. Great for us to watch. Very exciting to watch.
Also gut-wrenching when you're a fan, having to go to PKs and just not knowing how it's going to come up.
The nerves, right? At least we didn't have the extra 30 minutes of extra time. You know, all these matches, if they're tied at the end of 90 minutes, they go straight to penalties.
Easter sends it in. Lewandowski, or excuse me, Sheridan looking to run. Cujo, just the second player from Ghana to play in the NWSL. Hatch playing a little bit deeper as she was trying to slot that one to Bailey Feist.
And when Sheridan was drafted in 2017, Josh, you know, Jill Lloyden was still coaching with Sky Blue. She had played for Sky Blue, played for the national team. They had specifically scouted Sheridan out of Clemson.
We are scoreless here at the hydration break. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. You're watching the NWSL on Twitch. Of course, the NWSL trying to make this as safe as possible for everyone in attendance in Herriman. Players, staff, everyone involved.
And after today, Josh, this is our last day with games at Zions Bank Stadium. The semifinals and the championship game will be played at Rio Tinto Stadium, the normal home for Utah Royals and also Real Salt Lake. So you go from one pristine view to another at Rio Tinto Stadium. Not bad. And a slightly different stadium orientation, so we should not have the glare in the evening. We could have a different sun issue with the early game, but that's a much different building, much different setup, much bigger building, so I don't think it'll be nearly what we've dealt with in the first round. And I know it's got to be frustrating to watch, but when you consider everything that's going on right now, it's not like you have a lot of choices when it comes to venues. Monahan going at Staub. Played into the circle, but right there, Natalie Jacobs. Jacobs having a good game so far here for the Spirit. Monahan, one of 4 draft picks last year for Sky Blue, and the only one still with the club. And Hatch is the player down for the Spirit. She's holding her nose. Maybe she got hit right on the bridge of her nose. Ashley Hatch last year led Washington in scoring with 7 goals, matching her rookie total when she was with North Carolina. And you mentioned she leads the team in shots. She's 3rd overall in the tournament for shots after the first round. 2nd overall in shots on goal. Washington does have Rose Lavelle available. At some point, we should see her in this one. So if you're wondering why she's not out there at the moment. Just watching that ankle, managing minutes. And you know she's anxious to get out there after sitting out their last game. And Hatch will have to go off for a moment. For Washington, 4 goals by 4 different players. Sky Blue, 2 goals by 2 different players. Still only one team in this tournament has multiple players with 2 or more goals. Well, more importantly for Sky Blue, they just need more goals. Doesn't matter who it's coming from, they need more goals. Only scored in 1 game, Cujo, in the opening round.
Headed back by Lewandowski. Zerboni has numbers up. Just trying to find Monahan. She had 3 players in front of her. Good job there by the back line of the Spirit.
Look how compact that back four is. Very much in sync. Good communication with Aubrey Bledsoe in the back.
And now Waldmo is the player down for Sky Blue FC as she's able to hop up. Waldmo all 5 years with Sky Blue.
I'm really digging these black kits for Sky Blue, Josh. I thought at first they were navy with the light blue because last year they wore navy, but it's clear they're black with the Sky Blue. And the Sky Blue socks. And look, Kawasumi even has the Sky Blue shoes. I know it's a strange name, but I actually found out where the Sky Blue name came from. One of the founding members of the club, one of the founding coaches, and this club was founded in 2007, was actually Denise Reddy, who was their head coach for all of 2018 and part of 2019. Where she had played and coached in Sweden, the nickname of the team was Sky Blue. So that's how they chose this name.
Onomono stumbles to the ground. Couldn't get anything behind that shot as it rolled right to Aubrey Bledsoe. Onomono again showing what a threat she can be for Sky Blue. 2 different chances she's created.
She had the Rain's only goal in their playoff game last year at North Carolina. They equalized like in the 90th, 91st minute to force it to extra time. Unfortunately lost in extra time, but Onomono, we know she can be dangerous.
Sheridan. Johnson.
And to complete the Sky Blue history, Josh, just so fans know, if you look at their crest and wonder why they have 1 star, that's not from NWSL. That's because they won the inaugural WPS championship in 2009.
Cujo at midfield. Johnson. Johnson representing Cameroon in last year's World Cup. She was born there as this is played to Aubrey Bledsoe.
But didn't start playing for Cameroon until last year. Was able to get the paperwork done in time to be named to Cameroon's roster. Played all 4 matches for the Indomitable Lionesses. Love that nickname. And Freya Kuma's talked about how that kind of high-level, intense experience, not only World Cup group play, but playing in the round of 16, something that is a key piece for this squad, especially coming into a knockout round game. They haven't played one since 2013, right? None of that squad is left here.
Jacobs. Nielsen pushing forward. Skips around Cujo. Nielsen showing off the ball work, and that's going to find its way into the stomach of Sheridan. Zerboni trying to get it to Purse, just a little bit too high. Zerboni thought Purse was going to be pushing up.
We're getting close to the end of the first half, Josh. We had a scoreless first half in both of the quarterfinals yesterday. It's looking like we're going to be scoreless again. Maybe it's going to be a matter of when the subs start rolling in.
Bailey going right down the spine. Plays it out, Yokoyama. Huster. Sends it forward with the left, and right there is Johnson is sending it right back to Jacobs. Feist. Huster. Plays it in. That one headed down and nearly gets by, but Sheridan lunges to the right to make the save. It looked like Sanchez was going to have her first goal for the Spirit. And what a save by Kaitlyn Sheridan. Well, Sheridan ready for that. Amazing stop right there. We saw some brilliant ones by Eckerstrom yesterday, and that's continuing over to this morning game here today between Washington and Sky Blue. Kawasumi up ahead, trying to find Dorsey, but too far. For Sheridan, 13 saves coming into today's match, and that being the biggest so far. Yokoyama with room in the box. Sheridan comes off her line. Yokoyama disappointing herself. Just a little bit too much touch on that ball. Allowed Sheridan to make the decision to come off and smother the ball.
Sheridan coming up big in the last few minutes.
Just too much weight on that pass from Ashley Sanchez. Spirit trying to get a goal here before halftime. Excellent chance moments ago by Ashley Sanchez. Spirit just showing that they can put pressure on. They have the players up front that can score. It's just a matter of putting it all together. Anamanu trying to get by McGrady.
McGrady, a key piece, acquired last year via the draft. Didn't get to play as much as she had hoped due to injury. Seen some great stories about her on the Beautiful Game Network, also Equalizer, just working through those injuries, and you can see the difference she's made on that back line. I'm loving this back four. I'd say it's the best back four of the tournament.
Purse. Zerboni slowly working it up to Waldmo. You talk about that back four for how young it is. You would think there was a lot more experience on the back line for Richie Perkins. We take a look back at this chance by Sanchez diving in. Somehow Sheridan gets her right hand to knock that out. Great chance there for the Spirit, but a better save for Sky Blue.
Battle of the keepers, battle of the midfield.
Seen a little bit of everything in this game. Monahan with one of the two goals for Sky Blue FC. Great look there at Sheridan.
And with the exception of Andy Sullivan, who's no longer available due to that meniscus tear, this is basically the best 11 for both of these clubs. Another look at Vlatko Ananovsky. He's got his notebook. We would love to peek into that notebook. It's got to be frustrating for him to scout, but wonder, it's like, when am I going to get to call players in again? A lot of question marks remaining on the international calendar. Even, we don't know what happens with NWSL after this. We're going to miss this when this is over, right, Josh?
It's going to be a big change going from these 30 days that we've been able to watch soccer and these teams be back on this pitch. It's been a fun tournament so far, and of course semifinals begin on Wednesday.
I realized Wednesday, July 22nd is the day that Olympic soccer would have started in Japan. Of course, that's postponed to 2021.
Yokoyama in the channel. Feist. Sanchez with the left, and that one right at Sheridan. Sanchez had time to line that up. Sheridan able to just step up and make the grab for the stop for the Sky Blue. Monahan plays it near side. Kawasumi. Kawasumi offside. Great look at the Naho Kawasumi, who had just a beautiful goal, her first goal in a sky blue uniform.
Acquired from the Reign before the 2019 season. Did not get to play many minutes as she battled with several minor injuries. Great to see her back fit. She's played every minute, along with Gina Lewandowski, Sarah Waldmo.
Hatch nods it back. Feist at midfield. Huster. And she'll drop it back, and this will be played inside. Bailey. Bailey filling in for Andy Sullivan. She's done a terrific job so far here today, as Sanchez gets control of the ball. First half almost coming to a close. We'll have highlights and stats for you. McGrady. Yokoyama falls down. And now Purse plays it up. And right there's Bailey stepping in front of Zerboni. Zerboni thought she was fouled. Hatch turns.
We have seen a couple of goals in stoppage time in the tournament, only once in first half stoppage time.
Huster. Washington had a couple of great looks here as this halftime comes near. But Kaylin Sheridan coming up big for Sky Blue to keep this one scoreless. And there is the whistle for the half. We will go to the locker room scoreless between the Washington Spirit and Sky Blue FC. Spirit with the better of the chances. You're wondering if Paige Monahan's going to play a bigger factor in this second half to play a role in this one. Sky Blue and Washington looking for that win to move on to semifinals. We'll have 45 more minutes of action coming your way, and still plenty more time for both these two teams to get that first goal. We'll take a break. You're watching the NWSL on Twitch.